this video. This is my November and December reading wrap up. I just had to restart this video because I started getting to a coughing fit. It's really dry because obviously it's winter time and the weather sucks. You know, I prefer cold weather. I'm a cold weather girly, but dry air and me don't get along and I go into coughing fits. So don't mind me. I think I'm gonna finish this intro and I'm gonna get a cough drop. But welcome to the video. Welcome to the video. This is my November, December reading wrap up. I read a total of 32 books. So let's get into it. Give me 1 second. Okay. So my notebook. So in total, I read 32 books between the 2 months of November and December. So my page total in November was 856 between the 2 books I read. Then I read 30 books in December, which made my page total 5,654 pages read. And then my year total was my year total was 20,648, which is pretty good for as slumpy as I was feeling this year. So the 2 books I read in November was the Vicious and Vengeful Duology by V.E. Schwab, which was pretty good. And I know this vlog technically isn't out yet, but it'll be out tomorrow, so the day after this video comes out. But I really enjoyed it, and I do agree with what I've heard from one other person, Jan Agaton, who talked about this, and it was that how it kinda, in the second book, Vengeful, how it kinda dips away from the main characters you get more detail of in the first book, but to me it kind of felt like more, you don't go back to them as much in the second book, that really just focuses on the side characters. But, you know, whatever. It was still a good story regardless. But then starting in December, I read The Archived Duology by V.E. Schwab, and I also bought this thinking it was another book that I didn't have by her. Turns out it's just a bind up of The Archived Duology. There's a little extra story in it, so I read that anyway. In this story, so far, since I started reading City of Ghosts, they kind of have similar vibes to that feeling of, oh, I can, communicate with the dead and blah, 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 which is fun and interesting, and I did also really enjoy the Archived Duology for its vibes, spooky vibes. It also felt like it gave me some Dark Academia vibes at times, like almost kind of like a Deadly Education kind of vibe. Could be wrong about that, but also speaking of like those kind of vibes, I also read Gallant, which I also loved very much, and also like the illustrations in it and whatever, they're so pretty. And this book was really cozy and really good, and I really enjoyed it. Kind of sad I held off on it for so long, but yeah, those are all the novels / V.E. Schwab books that I have read in the last 2 months. And then in December, I read a lot of manga and comic books. So first, with those, we will start off with, I finally started Spy Family, and I read the first 4 volumes. So far it's like we're just kind of in the beginning of Lloyd slash Twilight starts his mission, and then of course he has to start a family to like find this guy because apparently, or like whatever it was, but then of course he's a spy, and then he adopts Anya to be his daughter. She's a telepath. And then Yor, who's an assassin, who becomes his wife. And then they got a dog who can like see the future, and like I don't know, it's kind of, it's silly, but like I almost feel bad that I'm late to the Spy Family bandwagon. Because it's really funny and it's really cute and I love it a lot. And I knew I was going to love it a lot. But of course I took forever to start it because I was like, no, I want to read the manga. No, I should wait to watch the anime. Now I don't have a Crunchyroll account. But I have like the whole manga caught up. The rest is sitting right here on my shelf. So I will be obviously catching up on that eventually. And then, where does this pile end? And then, look at that. I finally finished Tokyo Ghoul Ray. I have officially completed all of Tokyo Ghoul. I finished the anime, which I think I finished I can't say last year. I finished in 2022? Or like early 2023? But yeah, I finally finished collecting and reading Tokyo Ghoul Ray. But I don't know. I still have mixed feelings. It's like I'm happy it's over, so I can focus on other series. But I'm also sad. But also I have it here, so if I want to reread it again, I can. My one thing I will say is I just kind of got bummed out in the end when they made Uda look like the bad guy. And it's like, yeah, he kind of had his not so great moments throughout Tokyo Ghoul, but like he was my favorite character. I don't know. I just always thought he was cool. I can't really explain it. But yeah. As you can tell, I'm still like grieving over finishing that. And then, now let's get into the comic books I read. Well, I'll promote these. Well, I guess not promote them, because obviously not sponsored. But I read the Ultraverse. These are literally the same volume. I just got both covers. Because I guess I wasn't entirely sure if they'd be different stories. But, yeah, so it's, well, technically there are 2 stories in it, which is Void Silver and then the somewhat incredible Jackie Boy. Which, if you don't watch Jacksepticeye, it's a comic book series he is starting based on, like, the ego characters, kind of like how Markiplier also had his ego characters, like Darkiplier and Wilfred Warfstache, like those kind of egos. How like Sean also has the Amazing Jackie Boy, Void Silver, Anti-Septiceye, everyone knows Anti. But yeah, so I read that and that was fun. Short little comic books. And then I have this next little handful. These are all by Troy Wagner, who is the director of Marble Hornets. So I guess if you're a Slenderverse fan, if you know, you know. And also if you didn't know, Troy has a shop. Like, just in case you don't follow him on any of their social media. Like, I didn't for a while, because, like, I didn't know. But, Here's one of his comics, Norto Bandy, book one. This is a weird little story. Seems like there's a cult involved. Uh, oh, and cowboys are big birds, big shadow birds, or whatever. And what freaked me out was this become new thing, and that's why I'm like, there's a cult. But like, where this was, kind of, scene. It's like all in color. I don't know. This was a weird, chaotic little thing. And I guess better showing you in color would have been these comics, because these next 5 little comic books here, they are all Marble Hornets comics. It's volumes 1 through 3, and then 3.5. Yeah, 3.5, and then volume 4. But yeah, so it's like, it takes place as, please don't tip over. It takes place like years after Marble Hornets actually happened, and it's now in Jessica's POV, because obviously Jay died, Alex died, and Brian died in when Marble Hornets actually happened, and Tim survived. So yeah, so now it's in her perspective, and she's dealing with a lot of weird things. There's also this place called the Festering Place, where it's kind of almost like, Alex, Brian, and Jay kind of live this, kind of relive what they suffered through with Marble Hornets over and over and over again. And for any of those who are Marble Hornets fans, who don't know, Scully is confirmed to be Jay. And I know I heard that Troy confirmed it at some point. I don't know where, when, or how he confirmed it. I just heard it from something, I think on TikTok. But then reading this, and I was like, oh, it was probably something to do with this comic that made it a little more obvious for him to be like, yeah, Scully was Jay. Duh. But, yeah, so that was fun, and I'm hoping more volumes come out soon. And then next, I read volumes 2 through 4 of Creepy Cat. I'm really sad this series is over. I thought there'd be more. It's just a silly, weird little cat. Creepy cat, obviously, because it can like almost like shapeshift, and it's really strange. But it's also just such a cute, funny little gothic series. And it's in color. Who doesn't love a comic book in color? Or a manga in color? I don't know, almost same thing. But yeah, I read that. And then finally, come here. They're so hard to grab off the floor. And then finally, I read volumes 4 and 5 of Lore Olympus, so I'm physically caught up on this now. I barely remember what happened. This volume was strange. Because it was like, is that Aries? I can't remember. I think that's Aries, but it was so funny at one point because before Persephone came to Olympus, and she was, at home where she belongs, like with her mom and her siblings or whatever. It was so funny because he falls there, or he fell from the sky, was injured, and then thought she was pretty, was being all weird with her, and it was so funny because it was towards the end of this volume, and then she was God, I don't remember who she was talking to, but she was like, yeah, I hooked up with Ares. She didn't. It was just that she, like, hung out with him, taught him how to read, even though he obviously already knew how to read. And I think she hugged him or something, or like gave him a kiss, and it was just strange. And then in volume 5, there was a lot of drama between Hera and Zeus. And also, in one of these volumes, Apollo also got exposed for the shitty thing he did to Persephone, because Hera shapeshifted into Persephone because Demeter was coming to visit. And also, yes, I am, for anyone out there who, you know, kind of gets weird, like gets angry or whatever with Lore Olympus fans, yes, I do know this is fictional and has nothing to do with the actual gods in this book, gods and goddesses in this book, or in this series, or whatever you want to call it. I know. I read it for fun because I like Greek mythology retellings, fictional or not. So I read it for fun and because of the pretty artwork. Thank you. But yeah, that is all the books I read. How long is this video? This video is 16 minutes long. So yeah, that's pretty good to me. So that is the end of this video. I hope you guys enjoyed, and I hope you guys had a good reading year in 2023. And yeah, so I will see you guys in the next video. Bye.